Charlie, welcome to Nova Stage, welcome to Radio Nova. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me here. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
First of all, let's get started about your history, because although you have a few global hits, there are still people in Finland who may not know who Charlie Puth is. So let's get started where you came from, because you're from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's a cool thing. I've heard that you come from the same neighborhood as Mr. Bruce Springsteen and John Bon Jovi. Is it true?
That is very true. I actually live not too far away from those guys.
Really?
Bruce will sometimes ride his motorcycle around my town, and that's something that I grew up with. So we've had like low-key musicality throughout the town. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Have you met him personally?
I met him once when I was 11, and he was about to perform at Giant Stadium, and every time he performs, he has to like work out and go crazy. And I remember it being a really hot day out, and I was watching my brother's baseball game, and he was talking to my mom, and he was wearing a jumpsuit, like, you know, and was sweating profusely. And I thought, for my 11-year-old brain, was like, oh, he's a homeless man. And I was like, Mom, why are you talking to this homeless man? And she was like, no, that was Bruce Springsteen. He's the singer. Yeah. So.
Well, that's funny. I also have to ask one thing considering Bruce Springsteen, because is it true that your dad actually knew the guy whose Bruce is singing about in Racing in the Street, the guy called Sony?
Yeah. Sonny used to be he used to go to this bar in Seabright, and my dad would always go to the bar and see him pretty consistently. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, that lyric. Me and Sonny, we built her straight out of scratch. Yeah. And my dad told me that when we were in Boston after the Boston bombing at the Boston Marathon, and we were driving out of Boston, and that song was just playing. It was a pretty significant moment, and he told me that.
Okay, cool connections you have, definitely. Well, Charlie, you've been into music business quite a few years now, and you've already seen lots of stuff. What do you think, has there been any, or what has been the biggest surprise as far as the music business goes? Because it's a tough business to be in.
I think the biggest surprise for me is the people, like, they're caring about the music, but now they're starting to care about like my personal life. And I kind of have a little freak out moment sometimes, because like my privacy kind of goes down incrementally every day. Yeah. Which I don't love, but I guess it's part of the gig. I'm in theory a pretty private person, but that's just gonna take a little getting used to, I think. Yeah.
Well, now you're busy all the time. Your songs are played on the radio. You have album coming, and you're like getting more successful day by day. It's hard to be like keep your feet on the ground, because I would assume that when you're flying around the world and doing lots of stuff like this, it's kind of hard on you. It's like you're getting out of touch easily.
Yeah, I am getting out of touch with some of my friends, but that's what FaceTime is for. Even though my front camera stopped working on my iPhone yesterday. Yeah. Fix it, Apple, damn. But I just try not to do so much social media when I'm traveling around. I just like to like dedicate a nice hour to talking to fans, and on the Instagram and Twitter, whatever, Facebook. Because if I'm like traveling for a really long time and that's the only thing that I'm looking at, I start to like, you know, be really bummed out that I'm like not at the place where like, you know, where I'm talking to them is, and then I just like that's why I have to surround myself with a lot of friends. So that keeps me sane.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, Charlie, one thing you've said that it's a very well put, that it took years to become an overnight success, which is a cool thing to say, because lots of people think that when someone has a hit, they're like they come out from the nowhere, but usually that's not true. So apart from that, what is the biggest misconception people have about being a pop star or being an artist?
That everything comes easy to us. So we get to go through different entrances and restaurants because we want to be private, and you know, we get free clothes, like, you know, we get nice hotel rooms. It's like it's not that's not all what it's cracked up to be. Like I can't like, go certain places anymore that I used to enjoy to go to because it's no longer enjoyable because everyone will point fingers and stuff. And I actually sometimes I'll like that because it's going to actually be fans, and I like to take pictures with them and say hi to them because they're the reason why this has happened to me. But I have people come up to me who just want to sell my signature and just yell at me and stuff like that. So that's very eye-opening, following my car and everything. So that's new to me. It just takes away from like the music. All I'm doing is just I just want to focus on the music because that's what got me here.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, your debut album 9-Track Mind is coming out in November, and I actually heard the album this morning. It sounded awesome, so congratulations. It's a great record. But you've always said that hip-hop was a big thing when you were young and you were listening acts like Naughty by Nature and stuff like that. So how would you describe the album? Is it like a hip-hop mixed with a pop sensibilities, or?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's soulful. Every record on this, every song on this record has good chords in it, and good chords make up good melodies, and good melodies inspire good lyrics. That's the process for me when I'm writing music, and I wanted to make sure that every record had nice, juicy chords, but not too juicy. Yeah. That's like a jazz record, but that's what I grew up playing, jazz records and classical music with really nice classical melodies, or like Mozart, just really pretty. I'm hearing it in my head right now, which is why I'm pausing. But Bill Evans chords, Mozart melodies, like what I grew up listening to. So I try and take that and put it into pop music. And I'm obsessed. I'm upset that I never grew up in a gospel Baptist church because those chords are the best, and everything is so huge. So you're going to hear a lot of gospel influences in there too. And it's lyrically, everything was written in the heat of the moment. So when I was writing it, it's not just like, oh, I'm just going to write a song about girls today. It's like I was in this moment. I blew off all my friends that day because this girl said she was going to hit me up at a certain time, and I waited for her. And she never called me back, so I wrote the song. Like that's what everything was written for a purpose. So it's very real stuff, and it was produced in my bedroom too. So
yeah, well, that's cool. About a year ago, of course, you've been like into music all your life, but could you imagine that See You Again and Marvin Gaye would become this huge?
No, and what's crazy to me is that they're the first two songs that I wrote in California. Yeah. So when I went to California, I would just write the two songs that would change my life.
That's pretty good score. No pressure. No pressure
or anything like that, yeah. But like that's another thing, like people think that, because now that I'm famous, it's like everything is like easy. It's like they don't know that like, mentally stuff like that weighs on my mind all the time. Like, I mean, of course I have faith in myself and I can like write more stuff, but like, I'm constantly being questioned by people like, oh, do you think you're ever going to top it? Like, that's not my goal to top it. My goal is to create a new 100%. So I hit 2 100% already. Now the next one, what's that going to be? And if that hits 80%, that's fine too. But I just want to create a bunch of different things, not top other things. So, but it definitely, I'm human. It definitely takes a toll on my headspace. Yeah.
Well, one cool thing you've mentioned at some point, and you actually know Marvin Gaye's son.
I do.
Yeah. What does he think about a song?
He loves it. He actually, we went to dinner with him before it was even out because he had heard it and he fell in love with it, and we were just singing it all night, and it was really, really. He's a really sweet guy.
Were you scared that what is he gonna say about the song because it's about his dad or the name is?
Right. I mean that thought did enter my mind too. And but I just had a feeling he was going to be really cool, and I met him, and he was like, his name is Marvin Gaye III. He introduced, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Like
it's crazy bizarre, but he's a really, really cool guy. I'm glad to know him.
Awesome. As a last question, Charlie, what would be your biggest ambition, your biggest dream, if you think about it right now? Like, where would you like to be in 10 years, 5 years?
I want to have a house in California that has a good amount of land with a recording studio where I have a bunch of artists come over and we all work and have fun and just make music. And some of the songs become really popular. I want some of them to be number ones, and I want to continue touring and making music for myself, but more importantly, like, you know, breaking other people's like careers too. I want to be like, my goal is to like be the new Max Martin because he's so brilliant. I want to be, and yeah, you know, and records I produce for other people have done really, really well already, but like, I want like Max Martin. Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's a great goal to have.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot, Charlie, for your time.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
And I like your tattoos. Too.
Oh, thanks a lot. Do you have any?
I don't have any. My mom would kill me.
Yeah, thank you.